Chapter 5. Night finally came for Lucius, and he could not be more grateful. That mermaid should be asleep by now, meaning this is my time to escape, Lucius thought. He swam to the door of his room, only to discover Maria had locked it. It seems as though she planned for this, Lucius realized, annoyed by the need for a new plan. The window was also barred, with little room to squeeze out. There needs to be something in here that could break those bars down. Lucius went to a cabinet full of drawers beside his bed and started searching. There are no knives or anything heavy that could break the bars down. Then, a small diamond ring caught his eye. I've heard stories about people using a diamond to cut through something. Perhaps this is the time I see it happen for myself, Lucius thought as he picked up the ring to examine it closer. He swam over to the window, ready to test his plan. He had barely made a scratch in one of the bars when he heard the door unlock. Lucius quickly placed the ring in his back pocket before Maria entered. I heard noises in here and wanted to make sure that you were safe, she said before he could question anything. Yes, everything is fine in here, so you can go back to sleep now, Lucius replied quickly. I haven't slept since I was a child, Maria began as her eyes wandered to the window with the now scratched bar. Wait a minute, you've been trying to escape. No, the bars were like that before you brought me here, Lucius lied. Are you aware of how scary the ocean can be? It's so much harder to swim at night due to the lack of sunlight, and there are also all the animals that will happily eat you alive and criminals who can catch you in a net and kill you afterward, Maria warned as her face twisted into a horrific scowl. I was not very aware of that, Lucius answered, taken aback by Maria's now threatening nature. Well, I would recommend that you stop trying to escape and turn in for the night, Maria said as shame and regret filled her face before she quickly swam out of the room. It seems as though the only way I can escape this place is if I appeal to her, Lucius realized. Feeling discouraged, Caroline slowly prepared herself for bed. She was about to start unlacing her corset when Jessica knocked on the door. Just a moment, please, she called out as she put on her light blue dressing gown before opening the door. I made you some lavender chamomile tea, Jessica said, offering Caroline a cup of hot tea. Thank you, Jessica, Caroline replied as she took the cup. How are you feeling? A little better, Caroline lied. Well, I'm sure that in the morning, after a good night's sleep, you'll be back to your normal self and ready for your new life. My new life. It is an exciting time. Yes, it is. I should not keep you up much longer, as it is nearly 11. Good night, Miss Anderson. Thank you, Caroline said before closing the door. She placed the tea on the nightstand next to the bed and began to contemplate the situation. Tomorrow is my wedding day, which many people say is meant to be the best day of my life. But it does not feel like that. How am I supposed to be married without mother, father, or Lucius? Caroline questioned as she looked out the window to the sea. And then there was the fact that Lucius may still be alive. Is it right to have such a celebration when someone you love is in danger? Caroline turned to her closet and looked at the white gown embroidered with daffodils and red chrysanthemums she had chosen to wear for her wedding. She then looked back to the sea, all of her memories from the day swirling through her head. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath through her nose, and stood in silence for a while before finally making her choice. The sea took my parents from me. I cannot let it take my brother as well. She pulled out a piece of paper and pen from the nightstand drawer and wrote a letter. Dear Vincent, I am so sorry, but I cannot proceed with the wedding at this time. The night you proposed to me, I witnessed a mermaid capturing Lucius. I have been unable to relax since then and decided that I must save him before anything else can happen. After kidnapping Lucius, the mermaid bit my arm, and I now possess the ability to breathe underwater. I am aware that this sounds ridiculous, but it is the truth. Once I find Lucius, either dead or alive, I will return. Love, Caroline. She put the letter next to the cup of tea. Caroline then left her room through the door leading to the veranda as she had the previous night, and refused to look back. As she walked onto the dock where she had last seen Lucius and looked at the water, her breaths became quicker than usual. There is nothing to fear right now. It will be like taking a bath, she repeated over and over. feeling nervous as she gripped the dock's edge harder than usual while her foot touched the water. The temperature was initially quite cold, but quickly grew warmer before Caroline removed her foot to see that she was not wet. You can breathe underwater and you will not drown, she reminded herself before putting both feet in and slowly lowering herself down into the ocean from the dock. Caroline finally let go of the dock's edge, allowing herself to be completely submerged in the sea. She looked all around her surroundings and felt almost breathless about the situation. Caroline's gaze then turned to her hands and arms, which now lightly shimmered just as they had earlier in the basin. The events of my first couple of weeks after school have certainly been quite unexpected. Now I need to save my brother, Caroline thought before beginning to swim away from the shore and deeper into the sea.